today we got to play Claim. Not Claim 2.
Not Claim 2.
So
just
much,
Claim.
just Claim. Yeah. So this is basically a trick-taking game. That's really all there is to it.
That's what it is.
Yeah. It's you said it was by the same makers as the
yeah, Scott Holmes, who does the Tiny Epic games.
So this is kind of an annex from your Tiny Epic saga.
Right. So this was not my pick. So that's why it's not a Tiny Epic game.
Yes. Well, it's actually not a Tiny Epic game. It's
Yeah,
why it's not a
yeah,
Tiny Epic
right.
game. But as far as the quality of the components, the cards they're textured. They're decent cards. They're a little thin, but not bad. They have some pretty artwork on them as far as the different characters. And I like the way that they scale from 0 to 9 as far as their strength. The zeros are little baby goblins, and then you get stronger.
Each higher number is a different picture. And
yeah, so it's not one picture, like one of your grievances in a lot of card games. As far as quality, I mean, all there is the cards. There's nothing else to it says.
Other than the cheat sheet that you get.
But it's a card too.
Yeah. But
same quality as the others. So what would you give it?
I'd probably say 7. I mean, there's not a whole lot to it. So.
Yeah, I mean, there's really not that much. I mean, it's got a nice box. It's got shiny.
Yeah, it's glossy and reflective. And I'm hypnotized.
Yes. Shiny and falling.
How would you get it?
I'd probably give it a 7 as well. I mean, there's nothing exciting about it, but it does have pretty art, which is more theme. But,
right. I want to give it a better theme score than component.
Oh, sure, blow that for them.
You're welcome.
Okay. So I think 7's around.
Right, I think so.
All right, so theme. What are you going to give it? Obviously, it's going to be better than a 7.
It's better than 7 because the artwork is really nice. And plus, it does have the cheat sheet, which helps out a lot too, with more towards the rules. But I really like the artwork. And I think you made a great point that how a 0 level card is like a baby monster, troll, a dwarf, whatever, versus a 9, which looks like this beefed up powerhouse. And I think that is really neat as well. So I'd give it more of an 8.5 for theme.
Yeah, I'm not quite as strong on it. I mean, I think it's a good solid theme. I mean, it's really layered on.
Based,
it's definitely layered on.
Yeah,
I mean,
for
you
sure.
Have any kind of theme for
Absolutely.
this, but the art is pretty. So for that alone, I'll probably go ahead and give it an 8. I don't think it's outstanding, but it doesn't integrate into play at all.
Right.
As far as the rules,
that's it.
One sheet of paper. That's all you get. Can't even call this a centerfold, so I can't take off for that.
But it was folded.
Yeah, it was folded, and it was maybe in the center of the box.
Yeah.
So from that perspective. But as far as the rules, it's such a simple game. This is all you really need. You don't even need a cheat sheet per se, but they gave you one. So from that perspective, I think it deserves probably an 8.
I agree, but I do think the cheat sheet is necessary because that way you don't have to pass that around. Well, because each faction has, and it goes towards gameplay, but each faction has an ability.
Yeah, but you can
so that reminds you.
Yeah, I mean, in the sense that as you integrate the game Claim 2, you'll probably need the cheat sheet when you start expanding the number of, and there's some expansions that just released for this too.
Oh, okay. So there's just more than Claim 1 and 2.
Yeah, Claim 1 and Claim 2. The other ones I don't think are adding.
It's not Claim 3.
They're expansions. So I think they add components, which actually probably would make the game more interesting.
Yeah, it might be.
All right, so that's the rules. So on to gameplay. Literally all you're doing, and it's 2 rounds. Round 1, you get dealt a hand of 13 cards. You play high card wins of the same suit. There's really no trumping in, although some of the characters have different abilities that do affect the cards.
Well, not the, what are they calling again? It's the doppelganger. So that's the only one it's not a trump suit because there's really not a trump suit, but it copies the suit that you played against.
Yeah.
So that's the only unique as far as suits go.
But what you do is you flip the top card, and that's what you're playing for.
Right.
So basically, the first round is in essence, basically just to build your hand. The first cards are all discarded.
Yeah. So, you're building your next hand.
Yes. So I felt like the first round was kind of pointless.
Right.
In the sense that it's used just to develop the cards you actually care about.
It's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
It was just odd.
Yeah, it was definitely odd. and we got confused, like which pile do I put these
Right.
in? And
Because basically, like Randy said, you play for that card. So you play a card, opponent plays a card. Whoever wins, you keep your card. It just goes to the discard pile.
right.
And then if you won it, then it goes to a separate pile, which is going to be your next hand.
Right, and that would go face down. But here's the kicker: the loser gets the top card
Right.
blind,
So
so they
they're
might
still-
get something better than what was the top card.
Right, you're still getting a card, but yeah, that's the part that was odd, is that the card you'll be able to see it, but your opponent doesn't, and you may very well get a much better card.
Yeah, and then the other thing is when you do take the card, you sometimes, if a bad card came up, say, okay, let's see, in that case you would have got a better card.
Right.
So if here's a 0. In this case, you don't want that card necessarily, so you'll try to duck the trick by playing something low and forcing the other person to take the trick to take the card.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a little strategy there, but it didn't feel real heavy in this.
Oh, it's for sure. It's certainly not.
So, but then once you've got 13 cards developed, then those 13 cards are what you will play with to actually take scoring points in the second round,
Right.
which is where it's the same play. We both play a card to try to see who gets the higher card of the suit. Whoever leads the suit, the other person must follow.
But you get to keep
But
both
you get
cards.
to keep both cards. And here's where the dwarves kick in, because the dwarves will generate where whoever loses the trick gets the dwarves. Right. The other person gets the non-dwarf cards, but the dwarf cards go to the loser. So that was an interesting take.
I thought that was an interesting mechanic.
Yeah.
And then winner is determined if whoever has the most of each faction.
Right.
It doesn't matter on the number of the cards, it's just who has the most number of each card.
Yeah. And then the undeads are scoring cards no matter which round they're in. So that was interesting. We haven't played with Claim 2 to see what those different creature types add to it, but there wasn't a lot to the gameplay of this. It was over in like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
it was
super quick.
Super quick game. And if you're just looking for something to do to kill time, this would be a decent
It's a
game.
light trick-taking game. So if you like trick-taking, but maybe, like I said, light strategy, not a whole lot to it, this might be a good introductory game for you. But there's other trick-taking games we certainly like that.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm going to choose a trick-taking game between this and the crew, I'll choose the crew.
For sure.
If I'm going to choose the crew and bridge, I'm going to choose bridge 100 times every time. I will definitely choose bridge over any other trick-taking game. So, I find these trick-taking games to be a little frustrating because I generally it just makes me wish I was playing bridge. Right. Yeah. So, but I mean, it's thematically fun. It's something that you can easily get to the table and.
I think it would be great with maybe some teenagers, some younger people.
Yeah.
You could pick this up easily and maybe integrate a little bit more of your family into the game night as well. So,
yeah, I mean, cool. From a scoring perspective, I think this is probably a 6 for me. It's a little bit better than Catan in the sense that it's short.
I wholeheartedly agree. I mean, the art propels it above Catan for sure, but it don't have anywhere near the components and the strategy or any of that. So.
Yeah, so that's our assessment of Claim. I think this assessment might have taken as long as the game.
I think so, and I think this is the first time we agreed on like everything.
Yeah, we were unanimous.
Yeah, is that how you pronounce it?
That's how you pronounce it,
okay.
Especially when you're congested like I am right now. So,
well, hopefully you liked our review of Claim, and at least saw the picture of Claim too.
Yep.
So.
All right, well, that's our assessment. Well, hopefully you'll join us for future assessments. Subscribe, hit the bell, send
Make
us
some comments.
Feedback. We love any kind of information you give us.
Absolutely.
So,
all right.
until next time, bye.
Bye.